Welcome to our house in East Ayrshire in Scotland. As you can see, we are in the middle of autumn at the moment. We've just finished off our harvest and we're about to pack up our garden for the winter. Once upon a time in 2019, when we first moved in, this was actually all grass. This whole area was fully grassed. So I want to take you back and show you where we first started and how we got to building our food forest in Scotland.
So here we are, this is where we started in 2019, fully grassed area, and you can see the different slopes and tiers that we have. Me and Clayton actually have built most of this and we work on this together every day. Clayton is now 16 and I've homeschooled him for the last 6 years. He is autistic and non-verbal, and we use this area as his education. So everything from planting the seeds all the way through to harvesting them. We build different structures together throughout the garden. We do different activities with him. He does all the maintenance around the garden as well. We use this as a fully educational space for him, measuring out trees. We do artwork with him, anything that we can think of that's nature-based and gives him whatever he needs from his education. This was a lavender hedge we grew from seeds. This was a nice big project that we done. We do science experiments together. We do lots of DIY projects together. Here we're making a pallet into a pot holder. We made a cold frame together. We are permaculturists, so we do lots of stuff to do with the principles and design of permaculture. So no waste is one of our big things that we try and meet. So we use anything we can in the garden. We use our milk cartons for vertical growing. This is our kitchen garden just outside our kitchen area that Clayton loves. So we make sure that we recycle as much as we possibly can. This is actually all from the neighbours, as we're vegan. We had them get all their milk cartons to give to us so we can grow in. This is one of Clayton's favourite areas to be. But let's take you back into the main garden. So this is spring of this year. So you can see as we come down to this slope, in this first tiered area, we've got our raised bed area. And then at the back, going all the way across, we have got our food forest. So we use this whole section at the back to grow our food. Our raised beds get used for our annuals. So our vegetables like our sweet corn and our squashes and our pumpkins, everything gets grown like that in our raised beds. Along these beds that we've made into a path, we've got a cherry tree there that we're now looking at. We have got things like blueberries, just because they've got that different soil that they need. We've got raspberries in there as well. So this is spring, so before everything got planted up, there was our archway for our squash that we were just about to start putting the trellis up. And then comes down to our food forest. Now last year we'd only just put the paths in. We actually fully mulched this area, but then we realised that it was actually not walkable because it's on a slope. We kept sliding. So we actually had to put in the paths and the edges to hold the mulch so it didn't all slide down when it started to rain. So in here we have got 15 different fruit trees. We've got apples, we've got cooking apples, dessert apples, we've got plums, we've got pears in there, we've got cherry. But you can see it's a real family orientated garden. There's Clayton planting out some trees there. This is Riley and Eliza planting up our squashes in our raised beds for the summer. They're doing a great job. And then we've got Clayton and Eliza carrying on and putting in our sunflowers. Peter out there doing more of the maintenance stuff with the trees. But you can see we've got so much going on, all these different areas working in. I'm actually looking at this garden and realising how much space we've actually got when we look at it like this. So coming towards the summer, we have then got stuff starting to grow up. Along here you can see the sweet peas coming in, nasturtiums, under the bags we've got our blueberries, and then all of the stuff that we've planted in our food forest is then starting to come up in the summer of this year. So as well as the trees in there, we've also got raspberries and honeyberries and strawberries and rhubarb. So there's a lot going on. Obviously there's a lot of space still to fill, and we'll be propagating over time, so not spending any more money on plants and filling out all those spaces. We do a lot of protection of pests. We don't want to be using any chemicals or anything that has got animal products in it. So our pest control is very much doing sheet mulching along all of our areas and using different netting. You can see there we've got the toppers on top of our raised beds. So we try to use all the different areas. So this is our flower slope that we are just setting up to build, and behind that, the slope behind it is for our lavender hedges. So let's look what we've got in our raised beds. We've got Jerusalem artichoke that we just walked past. There is sweet corn in front of you. At the back of there is asparagus and strawberries growing under nets. Then coming into the next row, we've got potatoes at the back, and all our squashes and our pumpkins growing up here with some sunflowers in there that grow over the arch for this year. That we've been really pleased with how that went. We have lots of soft fruit in our garden, so the way we protect those without using any chemicals in our garden is by using bags and nets. So on our honeyberries and our blueberries and our raspberries, we would use bags like this. So they're really easy. We put them on just as they're starting to fruit, and then when we harvest, we take them off just to harvest them. We use other things like netting that protects our strawberries. We also use anything else we can find, so like metal waste paper baskets we pop straight over the top of our strawberries as well. So anything to protect from pests. So this is a net curtain that we've got over one of our raised beds that we have our lettuce in. We use things like nasturtium and chives, and we plant them all around wherever we are planting anything new. So we would have them next to our fruit trees and our fruit bushes, and anything really that just deters the pests, that we're not using chemicals, we're not using animal products, and it keeps everything really nice and in harmony. And we don't really do anything to do with pest control. We make sure that we have our soil enrichment by doing lots of sheet mulching, and as you can see, our summer was very successful. So coming back into our autumn now, so right where we are right now, we are starting to pack up and harvest and look towards the next season. Beautiful sunsets, beautiful colours in autumn. It's definitely my favourite season. So if you'd like to follow us and see what else we get up to, we post daily videos on Instagram, and you can see our books that we've written, our children's storybooks, and we've also got a weekly journal that you can record all things like seasons and temperatures in as well. This is Katrina and Clayton from Building a Food Forest Scotland. We hope to connect with you soon.